So knees, shins on the ground. You can also have a block between your feet and sit on a block instead. Just make sure your knees are comfortable and this is not too much for the knees. If at any point you need to come out of it, find a cross-legged seat, anything like that. Anyway, let's find a little massage for those thighs for a moment. So as you find your seat, just rub those thighs up and down a bit. Maybe even give them a squeeze with those fingers. And just awakening those quads a little. And then get to a point in which you can be still. Get your shoulders down and away from your ears and reach the crown of the head just a little higher. Drawing belly to spine and beginning to find a bit more action through your torso. We're going to take a breath in and then lengthen your breath out. And then another one, breath in. And see if you can even make your breath, your exhale a bit longer. Even when you think you can't breathe out anymore, there might be just that little bit of air that can be let out from those lungs. And then allow the inhale to arrive once again. And again, exhaling, maybe end of exhale, you just push out a bit more air, renewing as much of that air in the lungs as possible. And you might have found yourself engaging a bit more through those deeper abdominal muscles to find that last bit of exhale. So see if you can keep that engagement. And then allow the breath to smooth out a bit more so you're not efforting as much with your exhales. You're making your inhales and exhales just that little bit more similar in length. If you can, breathing mostly through the nose. And then softening the muscles around eyes and jaw. Let's take another inhale. And another exhale. And then let's use the next inhale to reach those arms overhead, pulling the waist away from the hips. And then on your exhale, release that left hand down, coming into a side stretch, reaching up and over with your right. As you inhale, bring yourself back through center, and then we're going to go to a twist towards the right. So right hand comes behind us and left hand crosses over. Maybe your right hand can grab a hold of your left foot. Maybe you add a little bit more leverage and you twist a little further. We're taking it easy, don't force it too much. And then come back through center on the inhale, reaching your arms overhead. And now your right hand is going to come down by your side, side stretch towards the right, left side of the body stretches. Bring yourself back through center on the inhale. And then on your exhale, left hand behind you, right hand crosses over, and then maybe that left hand grabs the outer edge of that right foot. Finding your twist, pausing here, shoulders stay over hips, lengthen through the spine, breathing in and breathing out. On your inhale, coming back through center, reaching those arms all the way up towards the ceiling, and then interlacing the fingers, turning the palms away. Take another inhale. And now on your exhale, we're rounding the spine. So arms come forward, keep pushing through those palms, and then send your back body back. Draw the belly towards the spine. And then inhale, coming back up, reach those palms up. And then again, exhale, round, push that back body back. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale as you round. And then with your next inhale, lift. Bring the left hand behind you, plant it, keep your right hand up by your ear, and then see if you can lift your hips any amount, and coming into a bit of a back bend. Don't take it too far. And then come back through center, lowering hips, both arms lift. And then your right hand comes down, Maybe you come onto your fingertips. So if you've got your blocks, maybe it comes onto your block, and then push and lift your hips. And then back, coming back through center, right arm lifts. Let's do it one more time each side. Inhale, lifting hips. And then lower, back through center, left arm lifts, and then right hand lowers, and hips lift. Inhale. Exhale, lowering those hips back down, right arm lifts on the inhale, and then as you exhale, just lower your hands in front of you and come into it's almost like a child's pose, but your knees are close together, chest towards your thighs, arms are reaching forward. Just take a moment, breathing in and breathing out. Another inhale and another exhale. And then walking those hands all the way towards the right. Keep lengthening and see if you can find that extra stretch through the left side of your body so that left hand can come over the right hand. Maybe you grab a hold of your right arm and then you give a pull with that left arm as if you were trying to get your left ribs towards the left a bit more, and maybe even your left sit bone slides a bit towards the left side, almost off your heels. Breathe in and breathe out. And then bring yourself back through center, sit bone center 2, and then work your hands all the way towards the left side. Right side of the body gets the stretch. And again, all these are just options. If you've got enough of a stretch going on, you want to stay here, feel free to. If not, your right hand can grab onto that left wrist or any part of that left arm. Give it a pull, and maybe you slide your sit bones over towards the right side some. Breathe in and breathe out. As you inhale, returning through center, and then once again working those hands back towards you, and we're coming back with a lifted spine, sitting on those heels. Give your shoulders a roll, bring them up by your ears on the inhale, squeeze them in, and then as you exhale, release them down. Let's do it again. Bring them in and release them down. And one more time, just like that. Bring them in and smooth them down. And now from here, let's bring those hands to the outsides of those thighs. Here is where the blocks can be really helpful. So if you have them, or if you have something to use instead of blocks, just plant them and bring your hands onto them. If not, you're going to be using the floor, so you've got a bit less clearance, so it might be a bit more challenging. So more or less, fingers are going to be kind of in line with your knees or a little further back. Have a good base here. We're going to put weight into those arms. We're going to take an inhale, and then on the exhale, lift your knees towards your chest, and you're coming onto the tops of your feet, maybe onto your tiptoes. And then as you exhale, lower those knees back down. And then again, inhale, lift, exhale, and lower. And inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Notice how that feels, because now I'm going to give you another option. So as you inhale, lift, and then see if you can lift your right heel towards your right glute. Exhale, lower, and lower back onto your shins. And then we'll do the other side. Inhale, lift, knees towards chest. See if you can lift your left heel towards your left glute. And then lower, and bring those knees back to the mat. Take a moment here. Let's lift those arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, bend your left elbow, drop the left hand behind the head, and use your right hand to draw that elbow in towards your head. Okay. Breathing and getting a stretch through that left armpit and triceps. Breathing out. And then reaching both arms again towards the ceiling and switching. Right elbow bends, the hand behind the head, and then use your left hand to draw that elbow in, and then push back with your head. Full breath in and full breath out. As you inhale, reaching both arms towards the ceiling, and then on your exhale, arms wide and all the way down. We're going to do that same thing again, but we're going to roll over those toes. So you'll see, plant those hands, take a full breath in. As you exhale, lift those knees, core is engaged, drawing belly to spine, and then see if you can roll over the toes onto the balls of the feet, heels towards your glutes, or glutes towards the heels. And then again, lift, roll over your toes, so weight is into your hands, and then onto the tops of the feet and shins. Okay, so control that movement. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale, slow it down, roll over those toes onto the balls of the feet. Your hands can stay here for balance. And then lift those hips, roll over those toes, weight into your hands, lower back onto your shins. 1 more time. Inhale, lift, roll over, come into the squatty position. If you want to a little check and balance, see if you can lift your hands. You're still on the balls of the feet. Maybe hands come to your heart. And then plant your hands, roll over those toes, lifting those hips, coming back onto your shins, back into that initial position. Pause here for a moment. Let's reach those arms up. Inhale. And then on the exhale, interlace your fingers and bring the hands to the back of the head. Rest your head into those hands. Open up chest. Inhale. And then on your exhale, elbows forward and round your spine any amount. Chin towards the chest and maybe elbows towards your thighs. Let's do 2 more, just like that. Inhale, open. Maybe lift your sit bones slightly off your heels, so you engage a bit more through your legs. Exhale and round. And 1 more. Inhale, open. And exhale and round. And then as you inhale, come back through neutral spine, reach your arms overhead, and then on your exhale, lower those hands in front of you, and let's come all the way into a table pose. All right, so notice your feet might need a little stretch out here. They've been tucked under for a bit. Maybe untuck and tuck. Maybe give a little pat onto the mat with the tops of your feet. And then when you're ready, let's find some cows and cats. Drop the belly, bring the chest forward, lift your gaze, inhale. And then round your spine, exhale, push the floor away. 2 more times, inhale, exhale. And inhale. And round, exhale. And then pause in this rounded spine. Maybe you come onto your fingertips. Palms are lifted. And then tuck your tailbone even more. Sit bones are dropping towards the floor, almost like if you were trying to get them underneath the hips. And then really push that upper back towards the ceiling, chin to chest. Notice the space. Breathe in. And breathe out, belly to spine. 1 more, just like that. Breath in. And breath out. And then let's come back onto those palms. Let's tuck those toes and lift those knees into downward facing dog. And once you're in downward facing dog, find some movement through your neck. Look to the left, center, and then look to the right. And center, and then look to your fingers. And center, and then look to your belly. And center, allow that head to hang. And then on your inhale, lift your heels as high as you can. And as you exhale, lower heels. 2 more times like that. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower. And inhale, lift. And exhale, and lower. Nice job. Now with your next inhale, walk your feet to your hands. And on your exhale, let's find a forward fold. Hold on to opposite elbows. A little bend in those knees. Sit bones are lifting tall. And then press down through your heels. So even in this forward fold, notice where is most of your weight on the soles of the feet. And then see if you can add a little bit more weight on any area that feels a bit lighter. So whether it's the pinky toe side of the foot or it's the big toe side mound or the ends of your toes, you could also add a little weight into that area of the foot. Take another breath. You'll notice your legs engage a bit more when you do that. One more inhale. And one more exhale. And then let's find a generous bend in those knees. Let's bring hands to hips, chin to chest, and unroll the spine as you rise all the way up to standing, finding your mountain pose at the top of your mat. Arms are by your side, palms are facing forward, crown of the head is reaching tall. With your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. And then as you exhale, lower your right hand down, coming into a side stretch. Back through center as you inhale, and then taking it over to the other side as you exhale. Coming back through center, inhale. And then with your arms wide, fold forward, exhale. Hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, planting your hands, stepping your feet back, downward facing dog. With your next inhale, come out into a plank pose and hold. Pause here. Press out through the heels, draw the belly to your spine. Think about your tailbone slightly tucking so that core is engaged, and then spread your shoulder blades. If this becomes a bit too much challenge, too much effort, lower your knees. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Then with your next exhale, send those sit bones up and back and come back into your downward facing dog as slowly as you can. Allow the head to lower towards the ground, relaxing the neck. Take another breath in and take a breath out. With your next inhale, right leg rises. And then let's bend that knee and let's open up the hip. So gentle to begin with. Keep your left heel drawing towards the ground. And think about your hips trying to stack. See if you can keep your chest squared towards the floor. Take another breath in. And take another breath out. As you inhale, straighten the leg behind you. Toes point down towards the ground. And then exhale, plant that foot between your hands. Help it there if needed. Lower your back knee to the ground and inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, straighten that front leg, sending your hips back, drawing the right toes towards your shin. And then come forward again. Inhale, find that hip flexor stretch. Exhale, as you go back, find that hamstring stretch. Inhale again, coming forward. And exhale, moving back. With your next inhale, come forward, tuck your back toes if they're not already, and lift your back knee, coming into your low lunge. And then strengthen this low lunge. So think about inner thighs drawing towards one another, and then see if you can reach your arms forward without lifting your torso. So torso is still close to your thigh, back leg is strong, front leg is receiving quite a bit of weight. Take another breath in. Breath out. And then as you inhale, slowly lift that chest, lift that spine, coming into your high lunge. Arms are still lifted by your ears, strong through your legs. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, drop your right heel and open up into warrior two. Drop your left heel, warrior two. Reaching your arms forward and back, drawing that right knee towards your pinky toe. Strong legs. With your next inhale, reverse warrior, reaching arm up and back, and then pause. You can rest your left hand on that left leg. You could also reach your left arm in front of the body and forward with the palm facing up. Breathe in and breathe out, strong through legs. One more. Inhale and exhale. With your next inhale, come back through warrior two. And as you exhale, come all the way into side angle, forearm to thigh or arm to the inside of that right leg. Left arm comes by your ear. Want a bit more challenge? Both arms by your ear. No change in your legs. Breathe in and breathe out. Another inhale and exhale. With your next inhale, rise up, straighten that front leg, straight into triangle pose, hinge through that right hip. Reach those fingers forward and down. Left arm can go up towards the ceiling. Maybe your gaze goes up too, but just make sure that you're feeling stable through those legs. Breath in and breath out. As you inhale, rising all the way up, bend into that front knee, and on your exhale, downward facing dog, plant your hands and step that front foot back, all the way back, finding that upside down V shape. Heels are heavy towards the ground, but they don't have to touch. Knees can be bent, sit bones are lifting. And then you're using your hands to push the floor away so your chest is moving towards your thighs. All these little tweaks in a pose that we've done so many times before, and it can always feel a little different. Take another breath in and another breath out. With your next inhale, come out into a plank pose. Shoulders are over wrists. Your fingers are spread, but you can press through the ends of those fingers. Draw the belly towards your spine and then push through those heels. Another inhale. And then as slowly as you can, as you exhale, lifting those sit bones up and back. Coming onto those tiptoes and then slowly onto the balls of the feet. Downward facing dog, heels dropping towards the ground. Sit bones up and back. Let's go to the left side. So when you're ready, the left leg is going to rise. And then on your exhale, bend that knee. Just let the heel drop towards the glute. Keep your right heel close to the ground or moving towards the ground. Left knee lifting up towards the ceiling. Breathe in and breathe out. One more inhale and exhale. With your next inhale, that left leg extends behind you, toes point down, so you're squaring hips. And then let's plant that left foot between the hands, maybe helping it there. Lowering that back knee, coming into this low lunge, finding that opening through your chest, maybe lifting. And then on your exhale, sending those hips back, finding your half splits. And then moving like that a couple more times, coming forward. See if you can feel that right hip flexor stretch. Moving back, exhale. And then coming forward, inhale. And last one, moving back, exhale. And then on your inhale, coming forward. And then lifting that back knee. So we're coming into that low lunge. Okay, strengthen through these legs now. So when the knee is down, the legs get a little loosey, but now you've really got to engage them. So think about inner thighs drawing towards one another, and then we're going to lift those arms. We're going to stay with the torso at this angle, and those only reach your arms forward by your ears. So gaze is still to those front toes. Really strengthen that back leg. Think about the back of the knee reaching up. Maybe you can hear my voice kind of quivering a bit here. Breathe in and breathe out. With your next inhale, lifting that torso, coming all the way up into your high lunge. Squeeze the right glutes. And then on your exhale, we're lowering that back heel and coming into warrior two on this side. Gazing over those front fingers, strong again through the legs. Breath in and breath out. Reverse warrior. Try not to change your legs. Front palm turns up, reach it up and back. And maybe staying here. Try not to dump too much onto that back arm and leg. Maybe you can even lighten up and bring your right arm all the way forward. Palm is facing up. Breath in and breath out. With your next inhale, come through warrior two, arms reaching forward and back, and then make your way into side angle, whatever version works for you, forearm to thigh or arm to the inside of that left leg. Right arm comes all the way by your ear. And think about chest opening up. Breath in and breath out. Engage through glutes, push the hips slightly forward. And then use your next inhale to rise up, straighten that front leg. We're going straight into triangle pose. If you need to shorten your stance some, do so. And then hinge through that left hip, reach. And then left arm lowers, wherever it gets to, torso stays open towards the right. Breath in and breath out. Maybe gazing up. And then using the next inhale to rise up, bend into that front knee, warrior two, and then hands to the mat and make your way into downward facing dog. Left foot steps back, chest towards thighs, head towards the ground. And take a breath in. And maybe an open mouth exhale. One more breath. And then use your next inhale to walk your feet to your hands, but we're going to do it slow. So really lift your heels as much as you can and see if you can keep your legs straight. And then begin to walk, keeping your sit bones lifted. Maybe you stay on your tiptoes. Walk your feet as close to your hands as is available, and then land in your forward fold. Holding on to opposite elbows for a moment. Breath in. And full breath out. And then hands to hips, chin to chest, slowly unrolling the spine as you come all the way up to stand. Once you get there, let your arms drop by your side, and shoulders away from your ears. Soft gaze in front of you. Reach your arms up, inhale. And then wrap your right hand around your left wrist and pull your left wrist up and over into a side stretch. Bring yourself back through center on the inhale, and then switch the wrist, go to the other side as you exhale. Bring yourself back through center on the inhale. We're going to do it one more time, but we're going to add something. So now right hand grabs the left wrist. We're going to pull the wrist to the right, and then the left leg is going to come behind the right. Plant the outer edge of your left foot, the pinky toe side, bend into your right knee, and get that extra stretch through the left side of the body. So from the front, it kind of looks like this. And then as you inhale, return. Both feet plant next to the other, and then we'll switch. Left hand now, the right wrist. Then we'll take it over, and then see if you can bring your right leg behind the left, and then plant the pinky toe side edge, bend into your left knee, and see if you can get that extra stretch through the right side of the body. As you inhale, bring yourself back. Both feet plant, release the wrist, and then arms wide and fold all the way down. Halfway lift as you inhale, and plant those hands. Step your feet back, downward facing dog on your exhale. Rolling out into your plank pose with your next inhale. And then exploring your side plank on the right side. So right side down, turning towards your left. You could stack your feet a little wider and then just drop heels. And then one foot is over the other. You could have one foot over the other. Lift your hips. Maybe left arm lifts too. You could plant your left foot in front of the right. So your knee is bent, and lift those hips in that way too. So a few options here. See what works for you. Draw the hips forward, don't let them sag. Breathe in. And then on your exhale, come back through your plank pose with control. We're going to do it on the other side. So as you're ready, rolling onto the left side of the body. Once again, those different versions. Foot in front of the other, stacked. Bend the top knee, plant that foot. Use whatever pose you're doing to lift your hips, so don't let them drop. Push the floor away with the bottom hand. Breathe in and breathe out. One more inhale. And as you exhale, coming back through your plank pose, take a full breath in at the top. And then with control, we're going to lower all the way to the belly. So maybe knees come down first. And then bending your elbows close to the body. Slow things down. And then eventually, belly and chest are on the ground. Take a breath in. Maybe an open mouth exhale. And then from here, we're going to explore a few versions of Cobra. The first version, you're going to use your legs quite a bit. Actually, you use them all the time, but especially here. The hands are going to be just hovering over the mat. So you're not going to use the strength in your arms to push up. You're just going to use the strength in your back body. Okay, so take a full breath in, looking down, back of the neck long, and then breath out. And now with your next inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades and see if you can find lift without using hands. And then as you exhale, lower. See if you can do two more just like that. Inhale without using hands, lift. Use your legs. Exhale, lower. And again, inhale, lift. And exhale and lower. Nice job. Now from here, we're going to do 3 more, but your hands are going to walk forward and they are going to plant. So you kind of bring them to the corners, upper corners of your mat. And then with your next inhale, push into those hands, lift the chest. Some of you might be able to straighten those arms. Make sure that your shoulder blades are drawing down the back body, so you've not got your shoulder squeezing up. You've got space between shoulders and ears. Draw that chest forward. Breath in, engage through the legs, glutes. Breath out. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, lowering down. Another version. Now hands are going to come wide as your mat. This time it's only wider than your mat. And this time only fingertips on the ground. Palms are lifted. Elbows are lifting towards the ceiling. And then inhale, lift your chest. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lift. And now on your exhale, see if you can guide your right shoulder down towards the mat and the side of the head too. And then inhale, lift. And then guide your left shoulder towards the mat and gaze towards the right side of the head, also towards the mat. Inhale, back through center. And then on your exhale, chest forward and all the way down. Bring your arms in front of you, grab opposite elbows, rest your forehead on your forearms, and now relax those legs. Heels out, maybe wiggle your hips from side to side. Take a full breath in, expand into that belly. And take a long exhale, draw the belly away from the mat. And 2 more. All right, nice job. From here, bring hands under shoulders and all the way into your child's pose. And do your child's pose just like we did earlier. See if you can do it with your knees kind of close or hip width or close to that. So the spine is a bit more rounded, but this time your arms can be or close to your chest, or you could even bring them by the side body, palms facing up. Allow the forehead to come close to the knees if that's available, And take a few cycles of breath right here. Another breath in. And another breath out. And then with your next inhale, those arms come back in front of you, and then make your way into downward facing dog. Make your down dog just a bit shorter, maybe feet come a bit wider too. So your heels are well planted, and you can, if you bring your right arm under the body, you can reach for your left leg. So let's do that. Right hand is coming across, and we're going to grab onto any part of that left leg, lower part of the leg. And then once you've got your grip, use that grip to pull your chest towards that left thigh, and try to keep your hips level, so don't let your hips lean over to the left. Let your head hang, breathe in, and breathe out. And then release that right hand, plant it, and let's do the same with the other side. Left hand towards the right leg, find somewhere to grab onto, and then use that grip to draw the chest towards that right thigh. Head hangs so the neck is still relaxed. Breathe in and breathe out. And then release, left hand plants once again, and now walk your hands towards your feet. So you're coming into a wide leg forward fold. Interlace your fingers and bring the hands to the back of the neck, and just allow the extra weight of your arms to find a bit more traction through your spine. So a bit more space through that back body. Full breath in and full breath out. One more inhale and exhale. And then releasing those hands from here, bring your heels in. We're coming down into a squat. So we're going to bend those knees. The knees are kind of following the direction of your toes. And you're trying to get your knees to go wide. So in squats, we're all at different places. For some of us, just working, getting into a squat and out of it is plenty of work for the hips. So feel free to do just that. That's perfectly good. Okay. Those of you that are a bit more comfortable with your sit bones going down, then you can start leaning from side to side, and I'll just face the screen to do this. So kind of moving those knees and those hips from side to side, and as you go to one side, maybe the heel lifts, you get a little stretch more through those toes, and then go to the other side and the other heel lifts, right? And you can play with this. You could do this with your hands down, so you've got help with balance. If you want a little extra challenge with the balance, you could bring hands to heart if that's helpful. And just kind of shifting from side to side a bit. And then we're going to do another movement here in this squat. And again, I want you to be careful with knees, so pay attention. And if something's not feeling good or it's a bit too much, back it off. So not, need to do it in the same way that I'm doing it, okay? So from here, let's come back through center. And then we're going to do the opposite movement. So rather than going out with those knees, we're going to bring them in, okay? So see about bringing the right knee in and dropping it. So you're coming kind of to the inside of your foot. Again, careful with the knee. There shouldn't be any pain. And then bring it out. And then same with the left. So kind of this movement. And again, you could do this with hands on the floor for balance, okay? Or without hands, if that's available. So this is quite intense hip mobility movement. So again, be cautious, don't overdo it, okay? When you've done a few on each side, you feel that's enough, come back through center, come back into your squat, press down through the pinky toe side, draw your knees wide, maybe use your elbows to push those knees a little wider and lift your spine. Let's take a full breath in and a full breath out. And then depending on where you're at, maybe with your hands down, you lift up. Maybe you really push through those feet, reach your arms up, push through those legs, and then make your way all the way up. Once you get to standing, bring your feet parallel, so toes are pointing forward. And then on your exhale, we're folding all the way down. Hands to the ground or anywhere in between, and then heel to toe, your feet back to hip width. And just finding our usual forward fold, holding on to opposite elbows. If it's available, maybe those hands come or those arms come behind the legs. A little bend in the knees, good idea. Take a moment, breathe in and breathe out. So now a bit more of internal rotation going on with your thighs. Inner thighs are moving towards the space behind you. Another breath in and another breath out. Releasing those elbows, and then with your next inhale, walk your hands forward, and we're coming all the way into a plank pose. And see if you can keep that internal rotation happening through your thighs as you come into plank. Draw belly to spine, broaden upper back, soften jaw and soften eyes. Take a full breath in. And with control, lowering all the way onto the belly again. Maybe knees come down first. Breath in and out. We'll meet chest and belly on the mat. And we're going to give the fronts of the shoulders a stretch. So your right arm is going to come out into a T. Your gaze is going to turn to the left. Head can rest on the ground. Left hand is by your face. And then roll over onto your right side, the right side of your body. The top knee can bend. And depending on the hips, you might be able to plant your left toe, left foot behind the right leg. Again, you control how much stretch happens in that right shoulder. The more the torso turns towards the ceiling, the more intense the stretch. And we're going to stay for a few breaths. So you could be in stillness, okay, just working with that stretch, or you can add a little something here. So if you want to, begin to engage through your right leg, the one that's underneath, and then lift and lower. So using that inner thigh work, muscles. Keep your jaw relaxed. And if you're lifting and lowering, try to do it with your breath. And then find stillness for another breath in and breath out. And then let's all come on to the belly once again. Lengthen those legs out behind you. And then before we go on to the other side, let's reach those arms forward. Walk your fingers as far away from your toes as is available. Take a full breath in. And take a long breath out. And then prepare for the other side. So your left arm now comes out into a T. The palm is facing down. We're turning the gaze towards the right. Right fingertips next to the face, and then roll onto that left side of the body. And then again, a few options here. If bending that top knee and sending it up towards the ceiling doesn't work, you could also bend both knees and keep them stacked here. That's also a nice stable option. If not, bending that right knee, planting that right foot, you're getting some opening through that right hip. And then again, you might work with stillness here. Think about, the long line from crown of the head, shoulders, through hips, all the way to that lengthened foot, lengthened leg. If a little multitasking is available and you want to engage in, you might begin to lift and lower that bottom leg. Again, doing it with your breath, so it's intentional, and you're doing it with awareness. Using your inhales to lift, your exhales to lower. All along, getting that stretch through your left shoulder. And then finding stillness if you were moving for a moment. Take a full inhale and a full exhale. One more. And then coming all the way back onto the belly. Once again, reach those arms in front of you, away from your toes. Keep crawling those fingers out. Keep reaching your toes. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, draw the belly away from the mat. And take one more, just like that. Breath in, engage through the body. Exhale, belly away from mat. And then walk your hands back towards you. And then from here, let's come all the way into a child's pose. Sit bones towards your heels, arms by your side, forehead close to the knees. So a really rounded, small ball child's pose. Breath in and long breath out. Let's find 3 more breaths. And then use your next inhale to rise. And just because of the way we started, it might be like an adventure to try this out. So again, if you've got your blocks, it might make your life a little easier to do this. But again, feel free to skip it if you're not up for it right now. So we're going to try and get those legs through this time. Okay, so it's the same position we started with, the same core work. We're lifting those knees. We're trying to create space between the mat and the torso. And then what we're doing is we're going to bring those legs through. So let's take a full breath in, a full breath out. I don't know if I'll be up to this, so we'll see. So take another inhale. And then as you exhale, see if you can lift those knees, see if you can cross your ankles. And then bring those legs out in front of you. It's like my last bit of energy for the day. So let's plant those feet. Now legs are in front of us and we're coming all the way down onto our backs. Your arms can come in front of you. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, with control, slowly lower all the way down onto the mat. Once the head is down, maybe those knees come into your chest. And maybe you rock a bit from side to side. You could find a full happy baby if you wish, or you could just stay with those knees kind of wide towards armpits and those heels floppy towards the glutes. And just shifting your weight from side to side. And remembering your neck here, so giving your neck a little movement too. Chin moves from shoulder to shoulder. Finding some side neck stretch, also for the back of your neck. And then find stillness coming through center. And let's just reach those legs up towards the ceiling. You can support them with your hands, a little movement through your ankles, a bit of rotation. Just gently. Little wiggle through toes. If you're rotating, maybe switching directions. And then taking a full breath in. And full breath out. Allowing those knees to bend, gently dropping those feet to the ground, and then finding the most comfortable position for your body at this point. So maybe you're keeping your knees bent, maybe you're lengthening your legs out. Hands can rest at your belly or by your side. Whenever you find the position in which you're going to stay, take a breath in. And take an open mouth exhale. And maybe take another one like that, allowing the body now to relax towards the ground. And as much as we practice moving, doing, let's also practice not doing, pausing. And maybe reminding ourselves that being is enough. And by doing so much, sometimes we'll miss a number of things. So allow this pause to be a practice so that you don't miss important things, so that you can be present. And then if you've got the time, if you can and you want, feel free to stay for a bit longer. But if you're ready to move, do it intentionally. Engage your breath. And then move efficiently. Use just the right amount of effort needed. So you might begin by just gently wiggling your toes and your fingers, your ankles, your wrists, maybe your neck, maybe your jaw, maybe your eyes. And then if you're on your back, you can roll onto one side, drawing those knees towards your chest and supporting your head in your arms. And then before you rise up, can you give yourself a breath in and a breath out? And we'll make our way up. We'll find a comfortable seat to end practice together. Hands can rest on your thighs or your belly or your chest. Find a lifted, lengthened spine. And then just taking that moment to acknowledge the practice, to acknowledge then ourselves for practicing today. We'll acknowledge also all those that have practiced with us, and not only today. And then all those that in one way or another make it possible. And as always, we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.